and welcome back to another video. This is Julia's Speed Builds and I am Julia, and today we are building a tiny house vacation home. It is a modern style house and it falls under the tier 3 small home in the Tiny Living Stuff Pack. This is a lot in Windenburg, and let's just get right into it. So it's just a small box, a rectangle, 5x10 with a little porch on the front. We put glass ceilings on it and big windows in the front to give it a bunch of light. I figure if you were in a landscape such as this, you would want to have all the light you could get, and then it would be really pretty at night in seclusion with all of the stars in the sky. Especially with it being a big portion of this build being a bedroom, it would be awesome to be able to watch the stars while you're falling asleep, but still not have to be outside. So we are now coloring our floors and walls. I believe those floors, I think both the floors and the walls ended up being from Island Living. I went back and forth for a little bit between some of this stuff in the Spa Day game pack because they have some really good paneling for the walls, but we went with those giant kind of wavy textured panels, and then on the ground we end up going with a bigger marbly tile, and I thought that really fit in well with a modern style, just kind of being a rock solid, smooth aesthetic going on, but still, and it being black and white, but still earthy with kind of the lighter wood tones as well as the rich brown tones. I think we found a really good balance between all of those things in this build, and then also incorporating some stone and glass as well as wood. I think we just got like a really good mix of all of those things in this build. And let me know what y'all think. I struggled to put a trim on the roofs because the roofs were glass. So does it really need a trim to go around it? I couldn't really decide, so I just picked one that was pretty hidden away, pretty thin, and it kind of just looks as if it's what the game needs as a border on glass so that you know it's there. But let me know what y'all do when y'all use the glass roofs. I have entered in the cheats at this point the BB dot show hidden objects and live edit objects to find some more trees, because the trees that were around on this island and not on this lot were very different from the trees that I was allowed to pick from in the actual menu. So I turned on those cheats to see if I could find those trees to make it blend more into the landscape around it, but I ended up not being able to find them. But I did find those vines that are now hanging off of the front porch, which I really liked a lot. And I think I've seen people use those before, so I was really glad I found them. And then also some hanging plants that I'd never seen before that I thought were really nice. And I wish we did have them as actual objects in the game, but I'm not entirely sure how they would snap to objects in the game, because I kind of just placed them in the... I actually don't know what it's called. It's the kind of trim around the ceiling on your pillars. Those columns I have on the front porch, the trim that you put on the ceiling, that's what I stuck the plants to. But I did kind of struggle with building just the garden and landscaping around this house because it was supposed to be modern, and so I couldn't really rely on my normal suburban cottagey style, so I had to look up a lot of references and ended up doing this fencing around the entire house and putting bushes in them so that they were really trimmed and geometric hedges, and I found a really nice fence. Here I am putting it up now. It's got little plants at the end, and it's got that nice brown wood with the black columns, which was all of the colors we were looking for. And honestly, that fence just helped me solidify the color palette even more, because I feel like it's a fashion faux pas to wear brown and black at the same time, but architecturally I think it's really pretty. So we continue with that style. That door on the back here is from Spa Day, and it had the same kind of modern aesthetic we were going for. And I was still trying to play around with plants at this point, especially because adding that door to the back, the hedges I was using, they didn't have a singular piece for me to scale down, and it didn't fit in that block of 2. I needed a block of 4. So I had to do a little bit of finagling and figure out what to put in that slot, but I think that's my favorite part of building, is just kind of problem solving and figuring stuff out like that. See, there are those hanging planters. Those are really cute. I wish we actually had those to play around with in the game. At one point too, I was playing around with different cactuses I could put here, but then it didn't really go with the landscaping, so we nixed that idea. So I do kind of want to talk about a little bit of the inspiration for this build, because normally I go on Pinterest or on Reddit and find like floor plans I really like, but this one actually is inspired by a resort I went to with my family in Canada this past summer. We went on a tiny little island in British Columbia and went to a resort there, and they had this same like darker aesthetic, and it was right on the water, and it kind of just felt a little bit harder and sturdier, but also very chic at the same time. So that's what I was trying to replicate throughout this whole thing. So now we've started on the bedroom, and this bed is also from Island Living. I think that's really interesting, where I'm making a modern build, so you wouldn't think that the things from Island Living would really match up with the aesthetic of a modern build, because that's really more tropical, but I was really surprised to see that they had really pretty swatches, and with it being vacation, that definitely aligned with the aesthetics. I think these side tables and dresser, though, are from Discovering University, the little IKEA looking shelves, but they had the right color swatches, so I really enjoyed them. And I really liked putting these mirrors high up on the wall. Those are from Spa Day. Again, actually, no, they're not. They're from Get to Work. And they looked really nice high on these walls, and then reflected back down what was in the hallway, so it made the space seem a little bit bigger. And those are really cool plants we got to put on the side, but that kind of solidified in that no one really lives here full time. A decoration like that definitely means vacation rental to me. Just because it kind of gets rid of the usefulness of some of those things. We put a TV up on that dresser. I figure anyone staying here wouldn't really be inside the whole time anyways. Maybe just at night if there's a show someone wants to watch. Maybe they like listening to things as they fall asleep. We put a TV in the bedroom. I couldn't decide between these 2 rugs at one point, because I thought the circle rug looked really luxurious, but then I think that the little diamond rug matched our aesthetic a little bit better. Okay, so I love this bathroom, especially because these shower heads on these tile floors looked really modern to me. I have a friend who actually has a shower stall like this, or it's their parents who do, and it's literally like a rainforest in that bathroom. So I thought it was really cool to put the shower stalls in there just open into the bathroom. And then make a little stall for a toilet and just a small little sink setup. So I think it's the tile floors that really does it for this build and gives it just kind of a different quality about it, as well as the walls. I know they're technically wooden panels, but since they're so big and they look kind of harder and colder, they've got a different quality to them. I also really like that door, kind of like a sliding barn door almost. The only thing I would say about it is I wish it comes in like nice wooden color swatches and has a lot of options specifically color-wise, but the pattern never changes on it. So I was lucky that it really fit into the aesthetic of this build, but I think it's missing some of its potential by only being diamond shaped. So if I was a mod maker, if I was a CC creator, I would definitely be retexturing that door and using it all the time. I really like the decorations in this bathroom as well, because it's so, like, it's a bathroom with an open floor plan, basically. So I liked adding some softer elements in there, like the towels and the pastel colors. This kitchen was really cute too. It's probably one of my favorite kitchens just because it's not tiny. It's not your typical like tiny living kitchen, but it's only what you need. I think there's a lot of counter space for how small it is, which I really liked and appreciated and would want in my own home. But we've got nicer appliances in there, and we put up these cabinets, which I think just make the whole place look a little bit more chic. I ended up switching where the refrigerator and the sink went, and then moved the refrigerator closer to the hallway to give us a little more counter space, because it was feeling kind of claustrophobic in there, because it is sort of like an aisle. It needed to be opened up a little bit. So now it's, you walk past the refrigerator and now you're in the kitchen, as opposed to just kind of like awkwardly standing in the middle of everything. I haven't play tested it, so I don't know if it would have been a problem making multiple Sims cook things at the same time. But I think we just kind of naturally avoided that problem by moving the refrigerator when we did. We added a little bookshelf to the front hallway. Originally the bathroom door was going to go there, but we moved that out at the last minute, and added a bookshelf just for some more entertainment in this house. I found this nice little awning. I think it's from the debug menu, but I could be completely off base there. I've never seen it before, but that's just me. And we added that to the back door. Found some nice candles, I believe, that are from Tiny Living, and decorated the bed with that. Now, you might have a problem playing through this build. You might have to move that little the little candle cart that we just put down. It might be blocking your Sims from getting in the bed, but I thought for appearance's sake it was really cute. I've also seen on twin beds before people putting that down and not having a problem, so it might just be a placement thing. I haven't checked, but just putting that warning out there if you do download this into your game. This corner, I end up really loving this corner, but at first I could not figure out what to do with it. I put like a desk there, I tried to put a TV in there, it just was not working. And then I remembered that corner couches exist in this game, and that this was the perfect place to put a little corner couch, because otherwise there's not really any seating in this building at all. That's why I was trying to put just a little chair in there, make it a little corner for seating and reading. But then it looked weird, and then I realized that there's literally a triangular shaped couch. Why not just throw it in there? And then we put plants all up the wall. They look really good when the sunlight comes in because of the glass ceilings. And I think we sampled from a lot of the different packs and just the base game to put plants on those shelves. And that is the basic shelf, infamous basic shelf that I think James Turner uses a lot. I think he had a whole shelf challenge at one point. So yeah, I always think about that when I put those shelves on walls. And I really like that bamboo plant in the back too. I'd never gotten to use that before, and I thought it was a really cool build to finally use it in. Because that's definitely not the aesthetic of the plants outside this house, but I definitely think it is the like higher end vacation modern. A lot of modern houses and aesthetics utilize bamboo just because it's sleek. It's kind of minimalistic on a plant side because it's just a stalk. And it's got like a distinct cylindrical shape, so it's really good for just minimalist aesthetics. We're decorating this kitchen, and we've put in windows in the kitchen, and I love these windows. These are from Discover University. And they fit right in with our modern minimalist aesthetic. Made sure to get some fruit and wine in there because, again, this is a vacation home. Make sure to get that trash can in there. Maybe I should have put a dishwasher in here. I feel like that would have been a good amenity in the playthrough of this house. But we're just cluttering up the bookshelf with some more plants. Again, I said it in my cat lady video, I love that little pothos looking plant. I know it's not a pothos, I have one. Is it a philodendron, or am I completely off base there? Anyways, I love that plant. The little leafy boy that's pretty tall. That snake plant's always pretty cute too. And we're just cluttering it up. I love that vase with the pink flowers coming out of it. And this was the first time too with that dining table that's outside. I had made the centerpiece multiple plants as opposed to just a bowl or a teapot. I thought that was a really useful way to utilize the space. We had to add some more light into this build. Somehow we needed more light in this build. The whole ceiling doesn't exist, it's just glass. But for nighttime, the moonlight's not really enough, so I added some candles on top of things. And then we move on to the outside, and I found these garden stones. They're either in the base game or part of the debug menu, because I had to look them up to find them, but they were $0. So I don't know if that's just a little gift that base game gave us, is you can decorate your yard with stones for free, or if it was a weird debug thing where I could actually search for them. Because normally with debug items you can't type in anything to find them, you just have to scroll until you find something you like, because they're not categorized in any way. But I just searched in stones, I think, and it auto-populated garden stones for me. And we got to place them down. I did add a hot tub to this build, but it doesn't end up going in the front yard. We move it on to the backyard because the front yard was looking a little cluttered. Maybe if I had pushed the whole build back a couple tiles, it would have fit, but the way everything was spaced out, I thought it fit better in the backyard. It would be nice to use that back door to just go straight out to a hot tub anyways, because I didn't have much more stones to add another patio to this small house. Stones, I didn't have much more tiles for the restrictions of Tiny Living Pack. So in front we just made this little pseudo patio space for cooking and lounging. I like to imagine that the people staying here would be outside most of their time anyways, because it is a small house, it's a vacation, you're on the waterfront, go fishing, read in the sun, sunbathe. Maybe I should add some more seating out here then, if sunbathing would be an activity. I also ended up adding some items in case you wanted to use laundry in your game, in your playthrough. Maybe not on vacation would you really want to use it, but we had some space, and I thought it would be a nice little addition to the lot to put a drying rack out here, and then the manual washing. Is it technically a washing machine if it's manual? I don't know. It's just a little scrub bucket. We added some gardening squares because they looked really nice, and I think it could be another good way to pass the time in a vacation home is tending to a garden. We put some easels out here for painting, and I think we're about wrapped up here. We framed the lot with some bushes because they're really pretty, and I needed to add more structure to the front of this house as well. The fence just wasn't doing enough for me. But yeah, this is our modern vacation home. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all next time.